Boom. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everyone, to the basement. I hope all is well as we get used to this remote learning thing. Now, I know why you're all here.
Hey, I'm just here so I won't get fined.
Yeah, thanks, Marshawn. Well, that checks for some, but I know the majority of you are here for the finest of pearls, the most polished of silvers, the most brilliant of diamonds, known as my class content. Yeah, thank you. Yes, I am well aware I put those sound effects in there myself because I'm desperate right now. But that being said, it's still important that we do continue to live life like we are right now, washing hands, social distancing, and doing not so normal life things like not going to public places. And today we're going to talk about why we are in the situation we are.
Hey, I'm just here so I won't get fined.
Thanks, Marshawn. Okay, everything I'm going to be referencing today comes from the article Why Outbreaks Like Coronavirus Spread Exponentially and How to Flatten the Curve, written by Harry Stevens of the Washington Post. And Harry Stevens, got his information from the Johns Hopkins University Center for Science and Engineering. And the good people at Johns Hopkins University Center for Science and Engineering created a computer simulation of how viruses spread in a population of 200 people. In great news, and this is really great, I got a specialist in viruses, statistics, and mathematical modeling. I'm going to call into her remotely right now. Excuse me, Marietta McElhaney. Hello.
Ahoy there, matey. Yes, this is I, Marietta. But you don't need to be so formal. Call me Captain Poopy Pants.
I'm sorry. Something clearly went wrong here. You're just a baby wearing pirate getup. I'm looking for the virus, statistics, and mathematical model expert, Marietta McElhaney.
No, that's me. But I know a lot about viruses because I put a lot of things in me mouth.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, let's get on with this study and see how this whole mess works out. Okay, so the people at Johns Hopkins created a computer simulation where gray dots represent people who are currently healthy but can get the virus, and orange dots represent people who currently have the virus.
That's correct. In this model, gray dots become orange dots if they bump into each other. Although we don't know everything, we do know that COVID-19 is mostly spread when people are in close proximity to one another.
Okay, this makes sense, but don't people eventually get over the coronavirus? What happens to the people who get the virus and become healthy again?
They accounted for that. Orange dots after a period of time will become a pink dot, and a pink dot means the individual becomes healthy again and can no longer carry or transfer the virus.
Okay, so this is making sense. A gray dot means the person doesn't have the virus but can get it. An orange dot means the virus is in that person and can be spread. And the pink dot means that the person's over the virus and can no longer spread it.
Now you're getting it. Now it's important to note that all these simulations are randomized, meaning that the dots will not travel the same way every time you watch the simulation.
Wait, so the simulation we see won't necessarily be the same one they would see if they read the article and clicked on the simulation themselves.
You're correct. You'd make an excellent first mate.
Thanks. Okay, so this first simulation is what would happen if we didn't do anything to prevent the spread of the coronavirus. Nothing has changed.
Correct again. Each dot represents a person and moves randomly. In the simulation, one person starts out with the virus. Then things get pretty hairy pretty quickly.
Oh man, people get sick very quickly. What's going on with the graph above it?
Well, the brown represents the number of people sick. At one point in the middle, you can see that almost everyone in town was sick at the same time. This is the curve you may hear people talking about nonstop.
Okay, so it seems like everyone eventually gets the virus, but everyone eventually gets over it too. Why do we want to flatten the curve?
Well, there's two reasons for that. The scarier one is not everyone gets over it. The simulation does not do this, but some dots, about 1 to 2% of them, should disappear. That is the reason number one why we don't want everyone to get the coronavirus at the same time.
Yeah, saving lives is important. What's the second reason?
Oh, let's take a look here. In this simulation, there are 200 dots. It's the peak of the curve, 190. Well, we'll see. It's usually around 190. 180, 189, 190. Okay, we'll round up to 190 dots had the virus at the same time. Now imagine if each case of the virus was treatable, but if required a hospital bed and a respirator. Now imagine that the town's hospital only had 50 beds and 50 respirators available at any given time. That means at its peak, in this simulation we just did, 140 out of 190 people would not be able to get the treatment, putting them at risk. Here we are again, about 180, so that would mean 130 people in the simulation would not be able to be treated at the same time.
Okay, I think I get it. The need is a lot higher than the availability. It's like trying to buy a popular toy or game around the holidays, or just even trying to buy toilet paper now. There just isn't any available because everybody needs it. And if everybody needs it at the same time, then there isn't any beds or hospitals or respirators available in the case of coronavirus. Then people who aren't getting the treatments they need are now at a much higher risk, right?
Indeed, matey.
Okay, so how does social distancing come into play?
Well, that will have to wait till tomorrow, first mate, because it's time for my nap.
All right, that checks. Thank you, Captain Poopy Pants, for the surprisingly detailed information. And I guess we'll end there for today. Tune in tomorrow for part 2 of why we need to social distance. And now it's time to peddle my merch. Let's see here. Looks like they sent this one in November. Hope everything checks out. Hey kids, are you bored at home? Why don't you go outside and hang with your friends? Have you ever tried playing patty cake? Don't worry about that one. Have you ever been bobbing for apples with your friends during a holiday party? Please don't do that right now. How about going outside and running around? Sounds good so far. And then play a game of Red Rover where you hold each other's hands and run into each other as fast as possible, breathing all over each other. You know what? I'm gonna pause it right now. See you guys tomorrow.